D-Lo 404 Boxing and more here. Shout out to the Ldbc. Welcome back to the channel to my subscribers and repeat viewers. New to the channel, welcome to the channel. Feeling the content, please hit that like button, drop a comment in the comment section, and subscribe. I want to talk about Amir Khan and Kell Brook. Read an article in Boxing Scene, shout out to Boxing Scene, where Eddie Hearn was talking about, you know, everything's lined up for Kell Brook to have a fight, a return bout at 154 on December the 8th. And after that bout, he fully expects things to move forward with making that Kell Brook fight versus Amir Khan. The only stumbling block he sees is Amir Khan still hanging on to that rehydration clause. He doesn't want Kell Brook to weigh in at more than 10 pounds over the weight limit on the day of the fight. The fight would be contested at 147, which to me is strange. I mean, Khan fought Canelo, I want to say it was at 152 or something like that. And I don't remember there being any rehydration clause for Canelo. He pretty much came in weighing what he wanted to. Of course, Canelo was the guy, you know, bringing the money. And, you know, Amir Khan was his knockout guest for that fight. But for two guys that have pretty much fought in and around the same weight class for the last, you know, 5 or so years, maybe longer, I just don't see where that rehydration clause is really necessary. Yes, we know Kell Brook is a big welterweight, but Amir Khan has also fought above the welterweight limit, and that was like maybe 3 fights ago. If that may have been 2 fights ago. No, I think it was 3 fights ago. It's like he's had 2 return fights. He's fought since the Canelo loss. I think he fought the Del Greco guy, Phil LaGreco, and he fought what's the guy's name? Samuel Vargas, I think it was. So he's had 2 fights, and I think the last fight he got dropped, but he ended up getting I think he won a wide decision. It may have been a KO, I'm not sure. But anyway, you know, to me, this is Khan trying to make sure he has an advantage, you know, in his favor, because Brook hasn't fought at 147 in a minute, so he's already gonna have to work harder than he would to make 154 to get down to 47. So that's already an advantage to Khan. Then for him to have to make sure he watches what he eats, what he puts in his body after the fight, it's, you know, even as far as liquids. I mean, after the weigh-in, I'm sorry, so that he doesn't come in on fight night weighing over 157. I think that's putting a little bit too much on Kell Brook to have to do all that to get this fight. I mean, and Khan knows this is a fight that boxing fans want. He knows it's probably the biggest money fight that's out there for him. Really, the Pacquiao Mayweather fights aren't gonna happen. So he needs to seize this moment. I mean, he needs to have some confidence in himself and believe that he can beat Kell Brook without trying to manufacture advantages in that fight. But, you know, ultimately, I just hope the fight happens. I mean, it's pretty much as far as all British fights, and I mean by all British, I mean a fight, you know, in a fight that is 100% 2 British fighters. It's one of the most exciting fights that can be made for me as a fan. I will say, although I wanted to see White versus Ortiz, I am glad to see White and Chisora fight again. You know, just rather than seeing either or both guys fighting someone that they have no business in the ring with. So that's a good fight. But it's, you know, right now I do think that Amir Khan versus Kell Brook is one of the biggest all British fights that can be made right now. You know, Fury is tied up with Wilder, so the Fury AJ fight can't be made right now. So I think this fight can be made. I think it should be easily made, considering Eddie Hearn is promoter for both guys, matching with promoting both guys. But Khan is the one making the fight difficult. Khan is the one who has always made this fight difficult. I mean, the reality is Khan just hasn't wanted this fight for whatever reason. I don't know if he and Brook have sparred or something. I have no idea what it is that makes him make it so difficult to get a fight made with Kell Brook. But I'm anxious, you know, that, and I'm eager because they're close. I'm just hoping that Khan doesn't use his rehydration clause to weasel his way out of this fight. He needs to take this fight. If you know, even for his legacy, I think no matter what happens with his career going forward, I think the onus will be on him. You know what I'm saying? It's on him to make this fight, and if it doesn't happen, I think that history is gonna remember that he had this big fight that he could have had with Kell Brook, and he avoided it at all costs. For you know, the entire remainder of his career, from the time that fight became hot, he's found a way to make that fight not happen. So I feel like it's time for Amir Khan to man up and say, hey, I want this fight. I feel confident I can beat this guy, and go out there and give it his all. Win, lose, or whatever. You know, win, lose, or draw. And I'll be honest, I don't think he can beat Kell Brook. I think he can outbox Kell Brook possibly, but I think at some point Kell Brook catches him and the fight's over. You know, but then again, I mean, that could, you know, that could also be fool's gold, because, you know, Khan could pile up points on him, pile up rounds on him, and Kell catches him, drops him. Khan gets back up and gets out of the round and comes back out and starts boxing him again. And Khan has the ability to, you know, to hurt Kell Brook. Khan is a pretty precise puncher. He has crisp punches, and you know, he's a pretty good boxer. I mean, he's a really good boxer. So there's a good possibility that you know, Khan could hurt Brook as well. And I always go back on the Maidana fight. And I know it's like Khan was out of his mind in that fight, you know, considering the way we've seen him crumble against other fighters, and we know Maidana was a big puncher. But you know, it was Khan putting hurt on Maidana to the body, and then Khan got rocked. He kind of just weathered the storm and fought his way through it. We haven't seen that very many times with him, but I mean, this fight, there's a lot of pride involved in this fight. If the fight happens, maybe Khan finds a way to get through the fight without getting hurt badly, or if he does, maybe he weathers the storm and gets through it. I mean, that's why the fight has to be made. We have to see the fight. We don't really know what's going to happen. You know, I have my opinion on what, just gave two scenarios of what could happen, but the reality is that neither of those things may happen. You know, I'm just hopeful that the fight takes place. I want Khan to stop trying to hide behind that rehydration clause. I feel like Kell Brook's probably already conceded enough to try to get the fight done. You know, just by even agreeing to 147. Kell Brook isn't saying the fight has to be at a catch weight, which is what I thought. I figured he'd probably try to get it at 150 or something. But he's agreed to 147. I think Amir Khan needs to stop pushing the envelope, trying to get his rehydration clause in there. I mean, the man can only blow up so much overnight if he has to squeeze down to make the 147. You know, I mean, there's no guarantee that he'll even make the weight, you know. But I'm hoping that if the fight gets signed and Kell Brook blows weight by a few ounces, that, you know, Khan doesn't back out of the fight behind that. I'm hoping that they'll just, you know, take a penalty and get, you know, take some money and go ahead and let the fight happen. But I mean, I'm hoping that I'm not, and I shouldn't be speaking that because I don't want that to happen. I want the man to make weight. I want him, you know, if they're contracted at a certain weight, I want him to come in professionally and make the weight. But I have my concerns about him making 147, to be honest, let alone a 157, you know, on the day of the fight. But it is what it is. You know, I'm hoping that the fight takes place. we'll see what happens. You know, Khan, I think Khan is letting a good opportunity to get away from him if he doesn't make this fight happen. You know, and that's my position on it. I hope the fight happens, but if the fight doesn't happen, based on based on the conversations that are being had, based on the articles that are being written, based on what's been said in interviews, if this fight doesn't happen, by all intents and purposes, it's going to look like Amir Khan is the reason it didn't happen, and I think that'll be the case. Amir Khan didn't want the fight to happen, so it didn't happen. And I think if Khan can get this one last advantage in his favor, or Brook agreeing to this 10-pound rehydration clause, I think Khan will be on board, because I think he probably feels like he won't be getting Kell Brook at full strength, coming in there at 147, then on fight night only being able to come in at 157, you know, at least whenever they do the weigh-in that morning of the fight, or whatever time they do it of the fight. You know, I think he feels like that's enough of an advantage to really give him an opportunity to really go in and put some work on Kell Brook. But we'll see what happens. That's all I got to say about that. I'm moving on. Shout out to Ldbc. Once again, thanks for viewing my video. Please drop a comment in that comment section if you have something to say about the video. Also, hit that like button. Peace.